in this environment. It wasn't a wellness place, it was a leisure lifestyle component. Now it became a product. It's never been a product, but now it is a product. And yes, we have a bit of a reaction problem here. Alright, sorry. This is the inside of a hammam. This is a social place. People gathering, sitting down, drinking tea, talking, spending a couple of hours, which is not, unusual to what an onsen can be, or a ginger bank, to what an onsen can be, or a difference here, that the industry translated it into a product. It's not buying it, we're paying for this. People travel to different countries to experience something like that. Probably you don't know what that is. This was Caracalla Terme in Rome, in ancient Rome, in the Roman Empire. This was the largest hot spring place in the world ever. But this was a place for social activity, not cleansing as well as meeting. That was the point of it. It wasn't a tourist attraction. This is what people did as a usual weekly activity. And yes, we have to have that little experience from the neighbors, which is the hot springs or the onsens. And don't forget, because of the cultural challenge, you often cannot even find them. Do you speak Japanese? Do you speak Japanese? If you didn't, you wouldn't find many of them, because they don't want you to be there. That's plain and simple. They don't want others to come and ruin the experience of the locals because they don't know how to behave. You don't know what to do, you have tattoos, you have various other things, and it's just a no-no. There's no way. You can't have tattoos in an onsen. There's absolutely no way. Or your footballers, tattoos in all the arm, don't know why, doesn't matter. Forget it. You can't. It would be a cultural offense. You can't do it. Or you have to apply waterproof makeup, ladies, waterproof makeup, to cover it. Otherwise you can't do it. So in the, let's say, wellness world, we have a lot of cultural traditions that local people have been doing for hundreds of years, which now became products. People come and want to try it. But you don't know how to behave, what to do. Men, women separate, you're naked or you're not. If you go to Germany and you want to go to a thermal hot spring, you will be mixed, as in men and women together and naked. In most cultures, that's a no way. You can't, because culturally it's not acceptable. But if you go to Germany and want to try something, this is the rules. Either you do it or you skip out. Don't go. This is the fact, the same as in onsen, same as in the saunas in Germany. And I wanted to have the local reference. Anybody knows which city we are in? We are in Dijon. And you can sit on the main street, right like in a park, just like here, and sit in a lovely hot spring. Is it wellness? I don't think the locals consider wellness as a terminology. This is what we do, because it's nice. It helps my feet. We can talk to each other. It's a lifestyle thing. It's not a wellness product. Okay. Now, this is a bit of an issue here. How we look at, and I think in Korea it's a very topical issue, how the technology dependency became basically a new drug. Drug you always consider cocaine and heroin. Now, Instagram is the new cocaine. Because you're dependent, not you. People are dependent. And you know that how many times you check your phone a day? Did you count? Minimum 150. Minimum. So that was my title, in that you need to separate the smart versus stupid wellness. Because now the technology became actually a burden. Because it keeps you away from doing some things out in the nature or just being, because you're endlessly checking what's happening. And when we look at, I'm really trying, looking at terminologies, Professor Kinam has been working on this field a lot himself. But look at terminologies. Health and travel is being defined by the World Tourism Organization. We work with them on this topic, and indicating that it includes the medical side as well as the wellness side. You travel for some sort of health purpose, which is very nice because it leaves a lot of opportunities for most countries, because there's a lot of assets. And if you look at the wellness tourism terminology, that obviously has, again, a wide spectrum from hugging trees down to sitting in hot springs or practicing yoga, depending where you are and what you want to do. But don't forget, terminologies can mean very different things depending where you are and who you are, what your background is. So when someone tells you this is a global trend, don't believe the person, because it doesn't apply. Because culturally we are so different, which is good. In tourism business is wonderful, because you can learn. You can experience something else or something different. I want to share a couple of just some data which we do regularly, because we want to understand what's happening in the market. And we have some facts. So when you look at the role of foreign tourists in demand, and you look at the various countries and markets, you can see huge differences. In certain markets, the walk-in, the local guests are the number one. In other markets, the foreign guests are number one. Locals don't do that, they don't participate. So anytime you do, let's say, a destination or a city wants to sell services or even define services, you need to understand which market you are in. Since you might have mainly domestic guests, or you might have mainly foreign guests in the market. That can make a massive difference. And this year, we particularly looked at the oil spring business, and especially in South America. You don't have foreign tourists in South America. Not at all, literally. If you look at it, it's just 10%. And the majority of the market is walk-in. Locals walk in for 2 hours and they leave. And now they look at the business like, oh, well, we should do something about this. We have wonderful assets, the natural hot springs, the waterfalls, and whatever. They're beautiful assets there, but they don't really use it. They're not defined, they're not product-based, they're just assets for the moment, they're not yet products. If you look at the demand in terms of regions, you can see that Asia in particular, I'm not talking about South Korea for the moment, the foreign tourists are the number one market for this product. And often that is Europeans or North Americans, who will have a very, very different set of expectations. Now we're talking to a facility in Ecuador, in South America, and they developed a beautiful facility. They said, we want to have primarily American guests, but we have no idea what they want. Don't know. I understand what Ecuadorians want, but I don't know what the Americans want. So you have to bring in someone who can translate the American expectations to the Ecuadorian location. Otherwise, it will be a total mismatch. You can't do that. Is that you? Ecuador? Very good, we need to talk. In terms of market position, I think that's a very telling graph. In North America, anything to do with wellness and spa is luxury. Literally everything. Whereas if you go to other countries, it may not be the case. It could be a budget one, it could be a mid-range one, it depends which market we are in, which is, again, wonderful. But anybody from the US comes and says, this is wellness and this is spa, the person will always talk about 5 stars. Always. Whereas when you are actually dealing with communities or dealing with local markets, this is not what people can afford, is it? Most people can't afford 5 stars every day. So you need to create products which are available on budget level, you need to create products which are available on mid-range level, but you have to create them. And don't try to sell them to Americans, they don't like it. It has to be price-wise. But still, we have markets where people are very happily going regularly and buying, call it cheap, but how they appreciate it is different. They still like it. It doesn't have to be expensive. Hugging trees, is it expensive? Is it expensive to go to Central Park and hug a tree? No? You can create a lot of products like that. However, don't forget, I give you this bizarre example. You know feathers? You know, birds' feathers. There is a destination spa in the US which sells feather balancing treatment, which is you have a feather on your palm and you walk around in the desert with the feather. And your job is to keep the feather on your palm. Not like this. Like this. So what you do is concentrating on the feather, which is a certain kind of relaxation, certain kind of mind training. Do you think, can you imagine how much this treatment costs? $300. But how much does it cost to make it? $2? But the idea. So when you think about this product from this perspective, you can create valuable products with no investment whatsoever. Why? Because you were thinking. You said, okay, what do I have? I have a desert. What can I do with the desert? I mean, not too much, because it's just yellow sand. That's what you got. But you can create a product out of it. Now we have sand therapy, which is using the sand, or the thalassophore, which is using the sea. So we have a lot of things which are all available, but you have to think about it and go out of the box and not always think about the 5-star hotel luxury spa. Forget it. That's lovely, beautiful, but go beyond. And then you might recognize you have amazing opportunities in this field. Looking at the motivations, I just highlighted the Asia Pacific. Often facilities invest a lot of money on architecture and design. How it looks like. If you want to have guests from Russia, or you want to have guests from Dubai or Oman, you have to. Why? Because they like gold. They like crystal. They like expensive. I mean, it looks expensive and feels expensive. If you want to have European guests, forget it. Because they want to understand your concept. And often, nothingness costs the most to them. They appreciate it. They don't care about the gold, don't care about the crystals, don't care about all the visual expense. They appreciate that you put an effort and created something which is meaningful, which has a journey. There's a beginning, there's a middle, there's an end. There's a story. They pay for the story. They don't care about the marble on the wall. Who cares? Not anymore. But it depends which market you want. You still want to have Russians, has to be, I don't know, 72 karat gold. Doesn't exist, but you can sell it. Because the higher the better, the more the better, brands. But it makes a difference who you're selling it to. But don't forget, in Asia in particular, treatments and therapies and journeys and the soft element, not the hard element, the soft element. And this is where the cultural traditions come in. That you can build on things which people have been practicing for long years. In terms of popularity of services, complementary services, and also anything based on natural resources, which is wonderful news for Korea, for example, because of the hot springs. You do have resources. However, when I'm going to a ginger one, I look a bit weird. I'm twice as tall, I don't look local, and everybody is sort of noticing.
I'm in the conference, and he's from Hungary making a speech about medical tourism and wellness tourism.
A little bit kind of overwhelming the attention. And when they want to have a photo with you, that's weird. But again, it's a cultural thing, which is fine. But, you know, someone who is not as open then might find it a little bit disturbing. So you have to take this into consideration. In terms of demand, anything based on natural resources, therapies, as well as obviously the body, mind, spirit. Don't necessarily have to be yoga. Doesn't necessarily have to be, say, anything to do with mindfulness. Just has to be a story there, has to be some holistic component in it. But that's certainly good news. But if you look at it, the Germans domestically try for anything thermal. Fine, it's normal, doing it weekly. Internationally, they want to have something which is local. Don't forget, the same hot spring that you might have in Seoul or wherever else, in certain markets, you have to sell it as a local service. Other markets, you have to sell it as a natural element. The same hot spring. Why? Because they respond to it differently. And they may not even understand what hot springs are. Like, what do you mean hot springs? Well, how hot? What does it do? Does it smell? Can I look through? So is it transparent? Certain hot springs all around the world, they're not transparent, they are dark. And people don't like not transparent things, walking into things. They don't know what's in it, they're worried. So don't forget about the hot springness, create the natural, create the local, because that's what the buzzwords are. And in terms of growth potential, obviously Asia, Pacific, occupational wellness. Do you know occupational wellness? You know the terminology? It's not just your employee giving you a ticket to a massage, 20-minute massage on a Tuesday morning, forget, it's not that. That's something else. So you have a whole package, a whole benefit program which is created for your well-being, which includes treatments and activities off-site, not just on-site. But this is something that, especially in many Asian markets where working is very obsessive, sorry to say that, but is obsessive, which is any time or every time, then creating those products can be really meaningful because the employees can respond to it very well. And obviously, lifestyle-based workshops, because we creating wellness propositions based on lifestyle activities. The other cocaine, apart from Instagram, is sitting. That's what you're doing now. This is cocaine. Why? Because most people sit 10 hours a day. And we are not created for sitting 10 hours a day. Your spine, your neck, is all going off, literally. And that's an occupational health issue. And you can create all the lifestyle-oriented workshops and products through which you teach and enable people to change their way they live. And don't forget, health ministries or welfare ministries, that should be the #1 priority because you save a lot of money on healthcare. I mean, you could. They don't, but you could save a lot of money on healthcare in that sense. But all across board, what you can say, industry, because we always interview industry colleagues, #1 priority and growth option is anything local, anything natural, anything. Could be culture, could be nature, I don't know. But this is the beauty of it, because you can create so many. We were just discussing it last night. The Roman traditional bathing experience has 18 stages. Hot, cold, dry, rest, hot, cold, dry, rest, and you go through a 3-hour journey. Not 10 minutes, not half an hour, 3 hours. And you love every minute of it, but it was created. It's the whole proposition. And this is what people are happy to pay for, because you can't repeat it at home. You can have a bath at home, you can put salt, oil, whatever you want in it, and it may feel like a wellness experience, but you cannot buy the package. That's what really is very interesting for the future. And yes, even Euromonitor, which is one of the largest market intelligence companies, this is what it is. But you need to translate it into services, because it sounds good, but what does it mean to me? All right. And in terms of facilities, growth potential, anything is family orientated and applies ecology. In many European countries, wellness facilities now all family based, not like kids there, family there, all together. It's a very challenging market, but it's a very large market. So not one person comes for a treatment, but 4 people come for 5 hours. It's a very different proposition. And also don't forget, when you sell services, the new way of consuming even wellness services, to have a treatment with your friends. People now in large urban areas, they book their friends to meet 2 months ahead. When can I meet you? On Messenger, and the person says, oh, okay, this is October, maybe 5th of December would be a good day to meet you, because in the meantime I'm busy. And these times now can become a spa visit or a wellness visit, but in that case, the treatment area would need to cater for 4 or 5 people at once, not individual treatment rooms, but treatment space where 4 or 5 people can enjoy the same thing at the same time, because there's a time to meet. So it's a major challenge to facilities, because they planned to have individual treatment spaces, but it's over because of how we live. And also spending. The Americans spend the most per day, which is not a surprise. But if you look at the, let's say, spending in South America, for example, per day it's $12 or $14. It's very little. Why? Because it's a budget play. This is for the masses, for the local market, which is nothing wrong, but the range is huge. And this is why you need to locate your facility, where you want to be, because we have market for all. And I think the most important message here, before we wrap it up, is the newcomers on the market, the first-time visitors, growing 25% in a year, who come to your place for the very first time ever. It is a massive opportunity, because they're interested, they come, and you need to grab them, because they don't come again. They go to another place next time. So you have a chance to create a loyal customer set, because the new generations are really interested in these services. So a couple of suggestions that I suggest you to consider. You know the term gig economy? You know the term? Gig economy? This is how Generation Y and Generation Z will live, which is, well, I have a job for 3 months, and then I don't have a job for 2 months. And I live up that 3 months revenue in the 2 months, and then go another assignment, and even I'll probably even move. So I don't have an 8 to 5 job anymore. I have project-based life. I don't even have a house because I move along. I have a hotel slash home slash office place, which is serviced. I don't have a home anymore because I'm moving along. Take my family, 2 months, 6 months, 10 months, and then move to a different country. You need to provide wellness services for these people. It's not, you cannot create loyalty, so, all right, you sell a membership, and for the next 5 years, the people will come. They won't, because you don't live there anymore. You will have a new set of people coming for a different kind of project. So I think you need to look at what gig economy does in various markets, because that will have a massive change. I think this advert is quite scary, because it tells you that pensioners, as a terminology, is over. Sorry, most of you, bad news, you won't retire. I won't retire, as my parents did. That's over. The terminology is finished. This advert already talks to the new generation that you won't retire. So you have to think about it, that many countries create products for the senior age. It's wrong, because that will end in 10 years, 15 years. What's then? All these second homes, or all the retirement villages, now they create in the US and Asia, Malaysia, retirement places, they will be a massive geriatric ward in 10 years, with people who are 85 or ill and there are 10,000 of them. That will be an absolute horror, places like that. But at the moment, when you are 65 and you're buying it, you're happy. You don't think about what happens in 10 years' time. It's a massive challenge, and I don't really understand why that's really happening. Think about different terminologies, not just wellness as such. Everyday people like you, me, you don't use the word wellness, you just don't use it. You use balance, you use harmony, you use happiness. That's what you use when you talk to your friends. That's what resonates. So forget the bloody wellness thing, talk to me in a language that I understand. You're still selling wellness services, but it's not what I'm buying. I'm buying harmony. Because that's what I'm looking for, because my life is very hectic, I want to have a balance. And then you sell the service accordingly. When we work with clients, we have clients in, I don't know, many countries in the world, from North America to Kuwait and various other places, so we always have a very challenging life environment. Translate the wellness propositions to something which is meaningful. If you think about it, you want to sell, let's say, beauty, but you're addressing emotional well-being of the guest. They don't necessarily want to be more beautiful, but the emotional balance is kind of out of place. They're looking for some sort of help. And this is translated into, for example, a plastic surgery or a skincare regime or whatever it is, but the demand is coming from the emotional issue. And if you go around and you identify opportunities all around the wheel, you might find that actually appearance can come in various other places as well. How the community looks at you, how they consider you, so it comes in various places, and then how you talk to them may be different. And you don't sell beauty. You sell the beauty services in under a very different umbrella, because it doesn't resonate the same way. But you're still selling beauty services. But don't forget, this is not the most straightforward way of thinking in a business environment, because you need to sit down and evaluate a lot of options. But it's very exciting here. This looks like just chairs on a mountain. Chairs, but they marketed a nature cinema. People pay for it. Can you sit down on a mountain and look at other mountains? Is it possible? Is it cheap? Fairly. But as long as you call it nature cinema, people are like, wow, it's amazing. I want to go. Yes, you might call it as a marketing thing, but sorry, everything is marketing. You have to think about it. Why? Because this is the way to sell it. And if you apply this kind of thinking, again, you might find a long list of products that you can sell. No one calls it wellness. You don't have to. But still sells rather well. This is a hot tub combined with a hammock. That's water here. And you are in nature in your own personal hammock. Will you try it? Maybe. But many people do. Even just out of curiosity. Do you have one at home? Have you got one at home? Do you like to have one? We don't have the space, no, don't worry. But you try it when you go somewhere. And out in the nature, it's lovely, but just once. And I tell you why that's important. Snow. Snow? That white thing that comes in winter time, that thing. Don't forget, depending where you are, people call it very differently, the same very snow. The Swedes call it the snow cannon. The Brits call it the beast from the east, as in from Russia. The Dutch call it the Siberian bear, and the Finns call it Wednesday morning. I think it's a very good translation of how differently they look exactly the very same thing. And this is my understanding of, you can rent a fish in a hotel. Will you rent a fish? Little ball with a fish in it, €3 for the night. Why? Because you don't want to be alone. You want to share it with. You want to be responsible. You want to take care of something. Is it wellness? Yes, it is. Do they call it wellness? No, they don't. But you buy it. Yeah, and you laugh. But next time, if you go to a hotel, there's an opportunity, I bet you many of you will try it. Because it's, it's relation, real, physical. Not that kind of physical, it's different kind of physical, but still is something, there's an opportunity. This is in Spain. This is a hot spring, this is a river. You think they call it wellness? They don't call it wellness. This is what just people do on a Tuesday afternoon. Sit in the water, just a bit, just a chat. And don't even have to pay for it. Of course, in here, you have a place where you can pay for it, but you have different levels again. All right, and this is, again, you should know where this is. This is from Korea. It's very close to Daejeon. It's very close to Daejeon, where it's a red clay mountain. When people walk along, young people walk along, bare feet. Yeah, Jeju. Is it? No, Jeju. What is it? It's close to Daejeon, yes. I forgot the name. Yeah, and because acupressure. You think they're selling it as acupressure? No, but this is what it does. But it's fun to walk along in the red clay with barefoot. It's fun. And just really wrapping it up, don't believe in what you see. Because this is how it looks like, and if you try to sort of recreate, it doesn't quite work. It doesn't quite work. We are sold a lot of things which are fake. It's not real, but they create expectations of you, physically and mentally. So you have to manage those expectations, because this is quite a sad story there. And would you try aqua pole, which is pole dancing in a pool for men? Gentlemen, would you try it? Is it fitness? You know how hard that is? Pole dancing, have you tried it? It's really hard. Really, really hard. As a fitness activity. But we created a water version of it for fun, but still doing some exercise. Don't forget, the wellness world created things which are not necessarily fun. Not loud out fun. They're just sort of secretive places, but not really fun as such. Okay. I think this is a rather important message here, that you can create luxury by taking things out and not putting things in. Because as long as there's a conceptual definition, you buy it, even if it's one piece. It's the same as with product development. It doesn't have to be millions of things, as long as it's a properly defined product. Right, if nothing else, remember this. Product development. I may try the hammock with the hot tub as part of hedonism, leisure and recreation, or something with a healthy option. And when you move from this side to that side, it becomes the core motivation of health. You can provide a lot of things along this spectrum, depending from hugging trees down to plastic surgery. But you have to locate yourself properly. Many people, many destinations, and even hospitals and whatever it is, they believe they're in the health tourism side, this side, whereas they're on still this side. People try it because they're curious. People try because they would like to try something different. But otherwise, they can be cultural tourists, business tourists, culinary tourists, sports tourists, whoever they are, and they try something which is a wellness product. So the wellness product and wellness tourism, they are different. You sell wellness services to a lot of people, but you can sell wellness tourism to a way smaller number of people. As long as you're aware of this difference, you don't create expectations which are not able to meet. So as our take-home messages, I'm not going to tell you all of it, but you have to avoid copying. Don't think that something is working in this country is going to work in that country. Don't. It may or may not, because the market is different, the culture is different, the demand is different, the resources are different, which is fine. You can learn a lot. You have to adapt it. Don't copy it. Adapt it if you can. Don't fall for huge labels and latest trends. Those trends are created for no other reason just to create media attention. I know exactly the people who do it, I know exactly how they do it. Just because you have to provide the next 10 trends for 2019, forget it. It can be interesting, but it's not a global thing. It may not be relevant to your market at all. And what is really important here is decide if you're doing stupid or smart options. Sometimes stupid, as in feather on your palm or hugging a tree, that's stupid. You may create a much better impact than having a technology, blah, 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 somewhere. Look at options. Don't think that everything has to be IT. Don't. It really isn't. People pay 2,000 euros a night for a hotel where there is no Wi-Fi, no internet. You can't, because it's all shielded. You pay a lot of money not to have. Okay? So we have a lot of options, I believe. And I need this to have to show you. I look lovely in this. Huh? I have a copy. If you go to Iceland, you can buy this for €5 and you float in the hot springs. It's budget. And most of the tourists buy it. Why? Because you take it home, you can do it somewhere else, and you take it as a memorabilia. Product development. And you don't spend much time in the water because you can't float. You know, after a while you got bored. And if you create products with which I extend your stay, even if it's cheap, people will buy it. And we absolutely love it too. Yeah. Thanks a lot.